So I was just notified it's illegal for Carolyn to live off grid. I tell you, I don't know how to handle all this sometimes. It's quite frustrating. Before I get into that, I think I'll show you what Carolyn does around here and why they say that she can't live off grid. As you know, probably, Carolyn washes the laundry out here on these water tubs. I keep them filled during the summertime. In the wintertime, she uses a bucket and a plunger. In the summertime, she uses the plunger, but she's got these two tubs, and she's got a wash tub. There's two of them here. She's got the wash tub and then a rinse tub. And this is her manual dryer. The dryer has two pull ropes on it, one here and one here. And you pull each one independently, or you can pull them both at the same time, whatever you want to do. It spins this at a high rate of speed. She has two of these. One's in the attic, this one's out here. She uses this one all the time. I got to replace the bearings in this quite frequently. They just wear out, I guess because it spins so fast and it's out here and it's get water in it. I don't know, but I replace them. She loves this thing. It doesn't appear like it would hold much laundry, but it does. So she spins it, and that's really good exercise for her. It gives her the squatting motion. She has to squat and then pull the ropes up as she comes up and back down. Or you can do it one hand, you know, kind of like, well, I mean, people pay good money at the gym to get the same exercise. That's actually considered abuse to elderly people. Now, what's interesting is Carolyn's not elderly. She's 61, so she doesn't even collect Social Security yet. So maybe next year she'll collect it. We've talked about it. Do we want to collect next year or later? And we don't require a lot of money. She can cook in a couple different areas. She's got the Coleman camp stove here. I replace these pretty frequently. One of these days we might get an actual stove, a gas stove, and hook it up to the propane just like this one. We're trying to find one that doesn't have the gas pilot lights. I want one with a clicker like this one, where you can light it with the clicker. A lot of people say I need to close this porch in for her. Well, if you can convince her of that, I don't know why we have to close it in. We live in a tiny house. She wanted it outdoors. That way all the smells and the odors and the gases didn't get in the house. So if we close it in, it would be like just another portion of the house. Think about it, on a nice spring day or even a nice fall day, coming outside and cooking supper. It's kind of neat. You're always doing barbecues, always. You know, people pay big money to do barbecues. Carolyn does it all the time. Now, of course, just the other day she used this. This is her whole outdoor wood stove area. She's got her little oven here. It's just an old barbecue grill. It was a gas grill. She took it all apart. It's got a thermometer on it. She can either put the sticks inside the grill, or she can put it over here on top of the wheels and get heat from underneath it. She keeps all this kindling out here. She's always got kindling split, and just the other day you heard her splitting this kindling here while we were making a video. I was making a video about canning. Got another big pile here. Unfortunately, the day she split it, she left it outside and it rained, so we got to let all this dry out. That happens. You get busy doing something else, you forget that you've done something. So that's kind of her chores, I guess is what you would call it. I mean, it's what she likes to do. I'd be happy to do any of it, but she feels like the more I take away from her, the more useless she feels. So I really try to, you want me to do anything? You know, like doing dishes. She'll do dishes, and I don't know, maybe she's got a sore neck. The other day she had a sore neck. I begged her to let me do the dishes. She said, no. Well, some people will tell me, just do them. Don't be a jerk, just do them. The thing is if I do them, she gets mad at me. Not mad, but upset, frustrated that I'm taking away any sense of duty that she has. You know, you take away a person's self-worth, they feel useless. Now, like the eggs here, this is a good example. She crunches up these eggs every day to give the chickens their calcium. So when she cooks, she washes them, she puts them in here, lets them dry in the sun, and then she crunches them up into little powder, well, almost powder. She also makes this sunflower seed sprouts. She's in there working on that right now. She has a functioning shower, fully functioning shower. I would take you in, but it's dark in there. and I don't have all the lighting set up. But we have a camping water heater, hooks up to propane, and when you turn the water on, it's an on-demand water heater. So it kicks on, the gas heat turns on, and instantly heats it up, and you can adjust the temperature right there. So she's got a fully functional shower. She can take these wash tubs in the house and do dishes if she wanted to. I actually bring them in for her. Now, we only do that when we're canning foods, and typically when we do that, we just put that in the shower. Either one of us is done using a dish, we just go in there, it's already full of water, and we wash the dish, and then we can rinse it right in there. Works out perfect. And sometimes I think our setup works out better than a house, because like I can do canning out here, and canning is quite the messy job when we're doing chicken. You got the broth and you spill the broth all over the place. Well, out here on the porch it doesn't matter. Just come out of here with some soapy water and a broom, you sweep it down, and it's all done, cleaned up. No big deal, let it dry. I kind of like this. I mean, I can, for example, I canned in a regular house, and I got the dishwashers, and you're constantly just running in and out. The house gets hot. But here, it's just wonderful. But a lot of people are concerned that I'm pushing Carolyn too hard. And so in the comment section, I get complaints all the time that Carolyn shouldn't have to do all this work. We live in a modern day society where things are there for her convenience. Wood stove, for example. I've heard about that one. With the wood stove, I try to manage myself as much as possible. I bring the wood up, I split it, because it's not split quite small enough. When we split it, we didn't know what size wood stove we needed, so we didn't get it quite small enough. So I come up here and I'll split it, bring it in the house, set it in the house and let it dry. So I got 3 stacks of firewood in this little tiny house. 1 stack I'm using from, and the other 2 stacks are drying. Getting the moisture from outside dried out. And so in a week, that 1 stack will be empty, and then I'll bring in more and fill up that empty spot. 2 to 3 times a day, depending on the temperature, I'll start the wood stove. The only time that she has anything to do with the wood stove is she stays up later than me. So I go to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then she will stay up to 11:30, 12 o'clock. Well, if I go to bed and it's still warm in the house, we don't start the wood stove until it's about 65 degrees in the house. And so let's say it's 70 degrees when I go to bed. Well, I can either get up, which I do a lot of times. I'll get up, ooh, it's kind of chilly in here, and I'll start the wood stove. So that's usually after she goes to bed. It drops down and it gets chilly, and I'll get up and start it. But if it's 65 or less when she goes to sleep, all she has to do, the wood stove's already got firewood in it, all she has to do is take the blowtorch and let it light it up. She sits there for 5 minutes while the fire gets good and big, shuts the door, goes to bed. So everything's there. All she has to do is just light it. That's it. And she doesn't even have to do that. Like I said, if I get chilly, I'll just get up and light it myself. But that's something she wants to do. So I don't see how these chores are much different than any other lifestyle. You live in a regular house, you still got dishes, you still got laundry. Granted, you have an automatic wash machine that does all the laundry for you. But this is our job. Carolyn had a job just like everybody else. She's worked her entire life. And just like every other job, it was very stressful, caused her a lot of anxiety. Of course, she has social anxiety. So she didn't even like being out in public as it is. So she traded, just like me, working for an employer to working as self-employed. We reduced our cost, went debt-free, reduced our cost. And so now what we have to do is crack chicken eggs up so we got calcium for the chickens. Feed the chickens with her sunflower seed sprouts. Do laundry. Of course, you know, she's got to manually do laundry. But she traded in the wash machine for, you know, the convenience of going to work. This is what I don't understand. You go to work, you work 40 hours a week, you come home dead tired, you throw some laundry in the wash machine, you wash it, you throw it in the dryer, so you can go to work to pay for the electric bill. You spend 40 hours a week so you can do laundry automatically. Where is the convenience in that? I don't see the convenience. I don't see the luxury. You go to work so you can turn on the thermostat and your heater kicks on. So you work 40 hours a week so you can enjoy your heater, your furnace, for a few hours a day while you're not at work. All the while, that furnace is running all day long while you're at work and you don't get to enjoy that furnace. Carolyn, on the other hand, we start the wood stove and she gets to enjoy watching the fire every time it's lit. All the time. Every day, all day long. But I got a complaint the other day. As you know, I do the canning. I can the chicken and the beef and the pork, and I just do all the canning. And the other day I was making a video up here on the porch, and I was showing you my cans of food that I just got done canning. They were sitting there, they were cooling. I was talking about botulism, and in the background you could hear Carolyn splitting this firewood into kindling. And I don't understand the criticism. We both were doing work that day, but it wasn't the work that they expected to be done. I suppose they expected Carolyn to do the canning and me doing the splitting. But here, Carolyn was just sitting here on the blocks, and she was using her mallet, a little hatchet. You can put this on the wood and then slam that with the mallet. I got it so it has that metal piece that you can do that with. And then she also has, which I never use this, but she likes this a lot. I'm not a big fan of it. And so you put your wood on that blade and then you can just pound it down with the mallet. This gives her strength in the arms and more exercise. And in my mind, I'm not complaining about either one, but in my mind, canning is an all-day job. You're up and down, you're doing dishes, you're running in and out, you're just back and forth. It's a big all-day job. I get up at 4:30 when I can to start cooking the chicken. And by, I don't know, 1 o'clock, I'm finishing up the last dishes is about what I'm doing. Carolyn coming out here and splitting a few pieces of kindling versus cooking all day, I don't understand what the problem is. But these are the complaints that I get all the time, that it's unfair to Carolyn. The thing that I don't think people understand is Carolyn is a grown adult. If she didn't want to do this, why would she be here doing it? It's not like there's a lot of cash involved in our relationship. She's not stuck here. If she wanted a regular life, she could go get a regular life. She has the ability to go get a job if she wanted one. She has the ability to go get a house. She said today there's standard of living and quality of life. And when you're living a normal life, you're living to a standard. These are the expectations. You got a washing machine and a dryer and a thermostat. But this is quality of life. This is what makes us happy. So if you can click this up next box, take to a video where I was talking about our chickens got attacked. So I hope I can inspire you to find your quality of life so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.